room is pretty with where we got the mic.
Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast, stories of inspiration, where we talk about mental health, addiction, religion, becoming a business owner and self-sufficient, for what, when, where, and why. Join us and we can be your local hope dealer.
Inspiration and dedication. I came a long way from sleeping in them pages. I got my life back. I feel amazing. Life's a book, don't get stuck on sad pages. Rainy days with no money. Hard work leads to days that are sunny. Looking back, it was all needed. The problems, the pain, the trauma, the grieving. You are now tuned in to the Prisoner2Painter. Prisoner2Painter. Hard work, dedication. Rainy days, inspiration. Prisoner2Painter.
And now, a word from your local hope dealer.
Welcome to the Prisoner2Painter Podcast. I'm Nathan McDermott.
And I'm Katie McDermott.
And today joining us is Mr. Justin Griffis.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. I thought it would be very difficult to schedule a running state representative. I thought it'd be harder to schedule somebody running. This was easy, so thank you.
Yeah, I'm the Republican candidate running for State House District 47, which composes the southern half of Jackson County,
Okay.
and then a good portion of Washtenaw County and a portion of the city of Ann Arbor. I'm a full-time candidate, so yeah, you give me a call. I can be here in a drop of a hat. So.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool. I clearly I can't speak on it, but like there's still politicians running for elected offices that still do their full-time job. So you must you must really want this.
Yeah, I stepped away from the practice of law in August of last year due to frustration with the criminal justice system here in the state of Michigan. This is the third state that I've practiced law in.
Okay.
And so I just decided to take a step back, take a sabbatical, and then eventually came up with the idea to run for office. And now I'm doing this full time until after the election in November.
What type of lawyer were you?
I practiced in criminal defense for 9.5 years, and then practiced criminal defense in the state of Ohio. Was a partner in a law firm in my hometown. Then I met my now wife.
Awesome.
And she's in college athletics. She's a women's college basketball coach currently on the University of Michigan staff as an assistant coach and recruiting coordinator. At the time, she was at Miami, Ohio and Oxford.
Okay.
And she got a job at Marquette University in Milwaukee. So I had to leave my firm, and I chased her in Wisconsin, took a job there, proposed within 6 months.
Awesome.
And then, 5 years later, here we are at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We moved here in 2024.
Okay.
But yeah, stepped away, and now I'm just doing this full time.
Awesome.
Okay.
Dude, that's
Oh, and I would correct, when I moved here, I switched sides, became a prosecutor.
okay.
Thought I would give the other side of the coin.
No,
a try.
perfect, because that's what somebody I'm
It's
sure
Grandma's Boy Podcast.
recovering lawyer,
Okay.
right? Is
Yeah.
what he said, recovering lawyer.
Yeah, I'm a that's what I tell people on the campaign trail.
That's
I'm a recovering lawyer. I get some looks, and then they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a recovering lawyer, and I don't know if I'll go back into the practice of law
Gotcha.
or if I'll do something else.
Yeah, Katie calls me
A recovering Catholic.
because
Yeah.
well, if you don't have a little guilt, are you really Catholic? You know,
No.
it's like you gotta have a little bit of guilt.
Yeah, you gotta have some guilt.
Just a little curiosity for myself. Is the bar hard?
Yes. When I graduated in 2015, there's actually 2 tests that you got to take.
Yes.
At least when I did 10 years ago. The first one is the bar. Obviously, you got to pass that. Each state is different. Ohio was 2.5 days. First day was, I think, all the essay portion. So it was like 8 hours of writing.
Jeez.
Half the day had to do with Ohio specific laws.
Mm-hmm.
The other half had to do with just general topics that every state has.
Okay.
And then second day was 200 multiple choice questions.
Jeez.
And law, when you're in law school, the joke about multiple choice is that there's more than one right answer. You got to pick the most right answer.
Yes.
I got you.
So that, and I think every state offered those 200 multiple choice questions is like the uniform bar exam, UBE. And then the last day, I think was more state specific writing. It'd been so long ago, but it was extremely tough.
Okay.
I think less than 70% of the takers passed, and I got
on the first try.
On the first try, and I had people that were ranked ahead of me in law school that failed the first time. It's mainly just, it was a lot of work, 10, 12-hour days of studying, not having a social life. I think my girlfriend at the time wanted to break up with me because I lived in my parents' basement like just a troll. And, but you know, it was all worth it in the end. But the second test you got to take is actually an ethics test. Okay. And that one I had to take twice. I took it before the bar exam, and I remember taking it at the University of Cincinnati. I gave a couple friends a ride down for the test, and I was the only one that was confident in the car on the way back.
Of course.
I was the only one that didn't pass.
Yeah, of course. That seems to be the way it goes.
Yeah. So, overinflated sense of confidence, I guess.
Yeah. Man, no, it's funny. I had the privilege. He's running for judge. I had the privilege of interviewing my old lawyer, Jared, and not that we talked to many lawyers, but that seems to be the general consensus. Super hard, very difficult. He didn't pass his first try, I don't think. That seems to be the general thing I hear.
It's a challenge. I would like to study and just take it. Honestly.
Well, looking back at law school, I think, to be honest with you, I think you could just study and take the bar.
It's
That's
like
what they used to do
500
back.
hours of studying.
Is it? Well, it sure felt like more. It was more, and then it was a few $1,000s to take a prep course.
Yep.
I think I did mine through Kaplan, and it was literally like 12-hour work days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And I've just always been curious. I heard it's a lot of business law on the multiple choice.
I remember constitutional law for some reason being a lot
Really?
on there. Yeah, because there's different things within constitutional law, the different tests that the Supreme Court will use for different subject matter, and it's very specific.
Awesome. One of our favorite things here is we ask questions that nobody else probably will. When you're around campaigning, they're probably going to ask you, Justin the lawyer, Justin, maybe where he's from, maybe Justin his political standpoints, but they're not going to ask, what was your favorite cereal growing up?
Favorite cereal growing up?
Yep.
I don't know if I'd give you a Mount Rushmore.
Perfect.
So I think my Mount Rushmore would probably to this day would still be Apple Jacks, Corn Pops.
Yep.
Probably Captain Crunch with both the berries and the original squares in there.
It's gotta be the berries.
The last one on my Mount Rushmore would be, it's a seasonal, used to be all the time, Count Chocula.
Okay.
It is seasonal now. It's Halloween now, or Halloween season.
It's Halloween season, so I'll buy a few boxes and store them down the basement.
There you go.
Let them go through the Christmas season.
Where did you grow up, and what was your family dynamic like?
I grew up in a town called Sydney, Ohio. S5E10, not Australia. And it's directly between Lima and Dayton off of I-75.
Okay.
And family dynamic, my parents got divorced when I was 7.
Okay.
I have two sisters from my parents. One older, her name's Brittany. One younger, her name's Jessica.
Awesome.
I have an older half sister. Her name is Angie. My mom had her when she was 18. My parents divorced, like I said, back in 95.
Gotcha.
My dad remarried in 97 to my stepmom, Shelly. They're still married today. Actually,
Cool.
Yesterday was their 28th anniversary.
Damn.
And
Good for them.
they had a kid together when I was 20. Is a oops child, as I call her. I got to be a big brother. Elizabeth, she's a junior in high school, 17 years old. My dad had her when he was 50. So that was fun.
Yeah. Geez, I can only imagine, man.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
I still get to act like a kid and pick on her because she's kind of been like an only child, having a whole house to herself.
Yeah.
And then I have a stepsister. My stepmom had a daughter. Her name's Chelsea. And I think she's 3 years younger than me, 4 years.
Pretty big family then. Well, now it sounds like it's grown into a pretty big family.
Very, very blended. All female except for me and my dad. So we both had to hold our own in the household. And then my mom, Sharon, She remarried, and she's married to my stepdad, Steve Yeager.
Okay.
And they live in Sydney as well. My older sister, Brittany, lives in Sydney with her fiance, Aaron. And my 2 nieces both live in Sydney.
Okay.
Well, 2 nieces do. Azalea, who's 15, she doesn't have her license yet. She's 15. Avery's 22 and is a vet tech. And then my stepsister has 3 children, Carter, Kaysen, and Chloe.
Dang.
So
it sounds like you guys are pretty successful. Where did, or my idea of success, you know, sounds like you guys are a pretty decent family, decent careers. I mean, good careers, let's be real. Decent's underselling it. Damn good careers. Where does that come from? Like who had the help me here.
Where in your childhood did you guys learn about like work ethic and morals and integrity that made you blossom into like successful adults?
Because I don't feel like 6 people all got a good career out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I come from a working class family. I remember when my parents were together, my dad was a hustler. He worked at the Honda engine plant in the aluminum die casting area. He would get off work and go do construction work, siding on houses and roofing. So he was always working, trying to provide. My mom, I don't think she worked when they were together. And then once the divorce happened, she went back into the workforce. What I remember is my dad always telling me and my siblings, be a doctor, lawyer, or a dentist. Those are 3 things that are always going to be needed.
Yeah.
I was the only one that out of my siblings that took that literally.
Yeah. Okay.
And I became a lawyer. My younger sister, Jessica, is a fashion designer.
Okay.
She's started out at J America in Columbus.
Wow.
Then she went to Nike out in Portland.
Wow.
Worked for a good amount of years at Under Armour in Baltimore.
Awesome.
And that's actually where she met her husband in Baltimore.
Cool.
She's now with New Balance and lives in Boston, Mass.
Okay.
My older sister, Brittany, is in the service industry. She manages in like restaurants and bartends.
Awesome.
So where that drive comes from, I don't know. I think I've just always had that competitive edge to want to do the best and be the best that I can. I think where that comes from is just a desire for my parents to be proud of me. I think that was really a fire that I had lit in me as a kid growing up I think that comes from, being from a divorced household.
Gotcha.
A lot of my friends didn't, their parents were together. So I wanted to show that a kid from a divorced household could succeed. Yeah. And then becoming a lawyer, I wish somebody would have warned me. I fell in love with like legal dramas, movies like A Time to Kill, A Few Good Men. I still watch all the time. And I thought that every day would be like a movie.
Yeah.
Cool. And, I don't come from a family of lawyers. I come from a family of workers. And, my eyes were really open. It's like, hey, not every day's fun. It's a lot of reading. Who wants to do that? And a lot of writing. But, that's the work that you got to do to effectively advocate on behalf of your clients or on behalf of the state.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Heck yeah. I don't, it's, we do this about an hour, 20 minutes, and there's a lot of stuff to always get into any episode. I understand that. So I won't stay too much in your childhood because there's a lot to cover, but what is your favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory? Oh man, I don't know if probably if I'm just talking about having fun. In the 4th grade talent show, I had the bright idea to perform School's Out. It was last day of school. Okay. So I performed School's Out by Alice Cooper.
Heck yeah.
And that's probably on a VHS somewhere that I need to hide. So that's a good memory. At least I wasn't, my friends that were doing Backstreet Boys back in the day, we got them on VHS too. So that evidence is out there.
So were you like a rule follower or a rule breaker or like a class clown in school?
I was for the most part, a rule follower. I think I was a rule breaker very early on. I have memories of like kindergarten, 1st grade, they had that card system where it's, you get in trouble once, they pull the green card, it goes to yellow and then red. I was constantly on red, or my name would be on the board with 2 check marks. 3rd one, they're going to call your parents. So yeah, I pushed the boundaries a little bit as a 6 and 7 year old. And then I think after my parents' divorce, I just really wanted to be make them proud. So I became a rule follower, stayed on the straight and narrow. Going into high school, there's always a lot of parties and things that you get introduced to things. And my older sister, Brittany, who was 2 years ahead of me, got pregnant in high school.
Okay.
And my niece Avery was actually born the day of my freshman homecoming dance.
Okay.
I remember waking up and being the only one at my house because my sister went into labor that night.
Okay.
And I think that was kind of eye-opening too, to see, hey, there's consequences to actions.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And I think that really kept me on the straight and narrow and goal focused, because I had goals in mind. I always wanted to go play college football, and I wanted to go to law school and then become a lawyer. And there's not a lot of room to mess up when you're on that path.
Yeah, dude. And to me, that's an impressive feat or an impressive thing to be young, say, this is what I want, and then follow it. And then it seems like you achieved it. You did play college ball at Dayton, right?
Yes, I played college football at the University of Dayton, which it was non-scholarship because of how Title IX works.
Okay.
And so we were non-athletic scholarship, but they gave partial academic scholarships to make up for it because it is a private Catholic institution. So its tuition was higher than a state institution.
Okay. That's by Notre Dame, right? Same area, right?
Notre Dame's in South Bend, Indiana. That's about 3 hours away.
I'm totally off. Why did I mix Indiana and Ohio?
We're called Little Notre Dame. Notre Dame has a golden dome. Dayton has a baby blue dome.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then there's some famous alumni that have gone there. Chuck Noll played in the 50s. He was the head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 70s when they had the dynasty.
Yep.
John Gruden, everybody knows Chucky. He played at Dayton. And then we actually have one player in the NFL right now. He's been Adam Troutman. He's a tight end.
Awesome.
I think he was a 3rd round draft pick back in 2020. And yeah, he's on the Broncos right now, still going.
Good stuff.
But yeah, that was a goal. I did have Division II scholarships. I had a couple Division I AA scholarships, actually Hillsdale College here. I remember my coach was mad. He's like, if you just go on the official visit, they're going to offer you. Mm-hmm. And then I found out it was a dry campus, and I was like, I kind of want to have some fun in college. I ended up not going on the visit. Yeah. And then I went to University of Dayton. Liked it so much I went to law school there. So.
And did you majored in poli-sci?
Yeah, political science major. That was the traditional major or route to go to law school, and then because of all the reading and writing that's involved in a political science degree.
Okay. Wow, man. I always say we're going to go in order, and then we never end up going in order. What was I asked your favorite childhood memory? What was your least favorite? What's the worst thing you can think of from childhood?
Probably when my parents told us that they were getting a divorce. I remember coming home from like a G League baseball game. That's where your parents are the pitchers. Yeah. So it's after T-ball. And I remember them telling us, and I just remember still being in my cleats and running outside into the backyard. We had a really long backyard and some woods, and I just remember taking off running. I don't remember stopping or anything, but must have stopped. I'm here now. Yeah, so but that's the worst memory I could think of.
Real quick, got some Russ Jennings, awesome people, all of us. Thank you, Russ. John Grisham made me consider law school. LOL.
Dry campus means I'm going to break the rules. And then also nope on the berries for the crunch berries.
Yeah, no berries. Yeah, dude, I seen a skit from the guys from Letterkenny. Said, "Oops, all crunch berries." He said, "Man, we don't get those in Canada." He was like, "Is there an embargo on crunch berries?"
Well, we don't get ketchup chips here in the United States.
So they got.
They're so good. We had them for a minute. They were Burger King, they were French fries and ketchup, potato crisps. They're the closest thing.
That is very good question, Katie. So you played an offensive lineman, so not the most seen part.
Right.
How are you going from not the most seen part to now you are like the most seen guy? You're running for office.
Yeah, I think it's more mentality than it is desire to be seen. Offensive line, you're doing a lot of the work that people don't watch. Yeah. I mean, that unless you're an offensive lineman or a former one, you're not watching the line when you
Well,
watch
it's
a game.
super important, but clearly
Yes,
people
it's-
aren't like staring at you guys.
And
so.
yeah, I wanted to be a quarterback growing up.
Okay.
I was born and raised a Packers fan, so try not to hold that against me
Yeah.
either.
Oh, you're cheating.
Well, when you're from Ohio and you got the Browns and the Bengals to choose
Yeah,
from.
yeah. I mean, fair enough.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
my dad was a Packers fan. He just instilled it in me, and grew up wanting to be Brett Favre in the
I
backyard.
get that.
And then freshman year of high school, or no, it was really before that. I think it was 7th grade. I had a coach tell me our quarterback can't be bigger than the center. So my hand went into the dirt after that.
Yeah.
And it was something that I'm good at. I was able to take out some frustration. You can physically beat people up on the line, and you're not going to end the game in handcuffs.
No,
so
you're not.
that was part of the fun.
Yeah.
But the mentality is like, I have to do my job so that the team can succeed.
Yep.
All 5 offensive linemen have to fire off the ball. You're working with another offensive lineman on a combination. You got to know who you're working or where you're working at and who you're working to. So we're taking on, like a 2-gap player or let's just say a nose guard that's playing in the A gap.
Mhm.
I got a combination with my right guard, and we're working up to get to the inside linebacker. So our running back doesn't get touched as he's, running an inside zone or something like that.
Mhm.
I got to do my job so that my unit and my team can succeed. That's the type of mentality I would bring to Lansing. I'm not asking to be, all over the news. I'm not asking to be everybody's, Mr. Popular. I'm just looking to succeed, rolling up my sleeves, going in, getting the job done that the constituents want to have done, and to represent them in the best capacity that I can, representing the principles, the beliefs, and the character of the district.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not in it for glory. I'm in it to actually succeed and to make not only Jackson, Washtenaw County better, District 47 better, but the state of Michigan better.
Yes, sir. I like that.
You won the Emil Karras
Yeah.
a memorial award for inspirational leadership. So what does leadership mean to you when the cameras aren't watching?
Well, that's when leadership actually takes place.
Yes.
You got to do the right things even when nobody's looking, and that's a testament to somebody's character. It's really easy to do when you're under a microscope or in the spotlight to put on an act and make people feel good about you, but your character shows when nobody's actually looking, and that you got to lead by example, and also not just with words but with example.
So how did it go about winning your award?
So that was my 5th year. I had an extra year of eligibility because they redshirted everybody our freshman year, except for maybe 2 guys. And my friends talked me into coming back for a 5th year. I thought I was going to get captain. I ended up not getting captain for some reason. We only had 2 that year instead of 3. I still think I probably was a captain, but my position coach and we kind of bumped heads a lot. We're oil and water personality wise. But I didn't, just because you don't have captain next to your name doesn't mean you can't be a leader. Exactly. So I still led by example and, led with words and led with my play, and my teammates thought I earned that type of distinction.
Do you know who Jocko Wilnick is? He wrote the Extreme
Ownership.
Fuck yes. Okay, awesome. So that's awesome. I love that dude and I love that book. I've bugged him for probably the past 3 years trying to interview him. I know he probably won't ever. Maybe eventually he will, but I've emailed him.
He's a busy guy.
Okay, so I know you'll get this reference because it sounded like you watched wrestling back in the past. Stone Cold. I heard you say Stone Cold and Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, coming from a divorced household, Monday nights I was kind of unsupervised sometimes, so I was flipping between WCW on TNT and
I was trying to
WWF
on my couch.
WWF, not WWE on USA Network. Yeah.
So the reason I asked that, so you had Stone Cold and you had The Rock. They if you didn't have both of them playing off of each other, neither of them would have been as good as what they were because you needed healthy competition.
Needed a foil.
Yeah. So who is The Rock? Who do you think is the only person that maybe makes you better, like competition?
I see what you're saying.
Competition.
Yeah.
My wife makes me better. That's one of the reasons that I fell in love with her is that she challenges me, sometimes too much. But like even this morning, something happened. I was trying to explain it, and she's like, "It doesn't make a difference." And I'm like, "In my mind, it makes a difference, but okay, you win. Let's go to church." But she challenges me. She's somebody that I can bounce ideas off of and get some type of perspective that I may not have had before.
Awesome.
And that's why I love her very much.
Awesome. Hell yeah, man. So it sounds like school went good. What was your first job after that? Like first law firm or first like what came after?
So after specifically I guess in undergrad, I did work in the summer times. I got in with the city of Sydney Parks Department. So I was mowing grass, digging graves,
cool.
A lot of weed whacking.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun till you got to get out, and they would make fun of me. Big guy, but come on, climb out. But yeah, it was fun. And then being around people my age that I'm still friends with, wasn't too tough. And you got to be outside all day. And then after my first year of law school, actually before the end of my first year, I went and spoke to my prosecutor to try to get a job with him as what they refer to as a law clerk.
Okay.
So basically, law clerks, a lawyer will give you a file, you review the evidence, you do all the research. They'll ask you to write pretrial motions, like a motion in limine to get evidence excluded or something along those
legal,
lines.
Clerical work.
Yeah. And you do a lot of the heavy lifting, and the lawyer will sign off on it if it looks good. And it gives you practical experience. And my prosecutor, Tim Sell, who's now the judge back home, he said, go work for defense counsel. That way you can figure out how they look at a case, how they analyze evidence, and that'll help you as a prosecutor. Okay. And I said, okay. So I went to the big criminal defense law firm in my town, which was called Roberts, Kelly and Busio at the time. And they took me on, and I loved it so much that I stuck with defense after I graduated. I believe the comments mentioned John Grisham.
Yeah.
My time as a law clerk, I've thought about writing a book, because when I joined Roberts, Kelly and Busio, we had been in the news for a big murder case back home. Our offices were raided by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Attorney General's office. My boss, Chris Busio, my mentor, he had to actually have a friend represent me.
Wow.
I wasn't charged with anything, but it was like the whole firm, everything was coming down.
Lawyer,
And then I was loyal to them. I enjoyed working for them, so I took a job. I think I may have been like the highest paid kid out of my law graduating class because of that. Yeah. I was paid for my loyalty, but after 6 months, they had to dissolve the partnership, and I lost my job.
Go about their certain way.
It was nuts. It was, we could have a whole podcast on that, but there's allegations of suborning perjury, which means that we told our murder client to lie on the witness stand. The co-counsel in that case, who was an associate at the law firm, developed a drinking problem, was stealing from people. Oh, geez. Lost his law license because of that. And then because he was in trouble, he tried to bring everybody else down.
I'm never going to stand like firmly on that subject, but whenever I've been in trouble, I did get in trouble once with the law, and I do wear this, a couple times with the law, but I wear this on my sleeves, is I actually cooperated with law enforcement. And in that context, I did it. And I'm maybe not the most proud of that moment, but whatever, I did it.
You got to do
But in that context, like what you're saying, I've seen people get fired at a job, my job, and they are bringing everybody else down with them. Like, bro, you got fired. Walk out the door. Yeah. You don't have to say, well, Nate did this guy did this. It's like, just get out the door.
And the guy that was doing stuff, he was taking on cases after hours. So we had no files, no paperwork of these people. He actually did it to my sister, my older sister, Brittany. And I told her, hey, talk to this guy. It had to do with custody of my niece, my oldest niece. And then I never saw my sister come in. And then here it was, she's like, yeah, he told me to come in at 6 o'clock, pay straight cash. And I'm like, you're not even in our computer system. And that was like, people would call in, ask for the status of their case. And then all of a sudden it was like the dam broke, because we're like, who are you? We're taking down.
Realize
like, we don't even have you in the system. And then here it was, he was taking old court orders, printing them off, cutting out the magistrate or judge's signature, and then creating fake orders, putting them on top. He was charged with forgery and all types of stuff. Because he was going to lose his license, he tried to say, oh, well, we suborn perjury during that murder trial, which never happened. I was there for all the preparation.
Yeah.
And then the reason that the law firm folded was because my mentor, my boss, took land in lieu of payment back in 2010. So it'd been 2-3 years before I joined. He took $100,000 worth of land as payment.
Okay.
When you do that, you have to take your reasonable fee out of that money and then give the remainder back to the client.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
you can't accept it all as payment.
So
okay,
if my fee's only $10,000, I can't keep that $100,000. I got to give you $90,000 back, right?
Okay.
Well, they kept all the money from the land sale, put it into a shell corp, got sued, won the lawsuits, won the appeal as the law firm, and then it ended up when the BCI, Bureau of Criminal Investigations, got involved. They charged my boss. He worked out a deal, took a felony. Everybody else was fine.
Nice.
And then he got his license. My boss, Chris, got his license reinstated 2 or 3 years later. And now he's doing really well back home.
Sorry, go ahead.
So how is this before you decided the type of law you were going to practice, or is this after you decided like criminal defense was where you're going? Because that
all this
like,
crazy stuff.
Yeah, it seems like it would kind of solidify that you're like, that's actually kind of cool. I kind of want to do that.
All the crazy stuff was as I was in the midst of going, I want to do criminal law.
And
Like,
then
hey,
you're
this every day,
Yeah.
every day is like a movie. But at the end, it's like, this is really nuts. Like, why do I have an attorney? I didn't do anything wrong.
Yep.
Why am I, so yeah, it was exciting there for a while. Like, hey, I got to skip my internal revenue, the IRS class, because I have to go meet with my lawyer for some reason. It was a weird time having classmates call me up that I worked with saying, hey, Detective so-and-so is in my driveway. He's waiting on me when I got home from class.
Yeah.
And then I'm going, hey, well, you took criminal law. Tell them if you don't have a warrant, get off your property.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I do respect that about I respect that about lawyers. I do like law enforcement. I do like how you guys are able to just be like, yeah, get out of here. Dude. Like I like that.
Yeah. The sass and the attitude that comes. Yeah, that's
I do like that.
And I got a little bit of a reputation back home. So like I was getting retained by people and I was pushing back against law enforcement. I'm a Republican. People think, oh, Republicans, you're conservative, you're for the government, for law enforcement. I'm a conservative first. That means I want as little government as possible in my life. Just essential services, provide to protection, water, all that stuff. But we still have rights, and our rights are given to us from God. A lot of people think our rights are written in that Bill of Rights that, in the Constitution. No, that's just saying here's our specific rights that government can't, abridge.
Yep.
But our rights didn't come from government. Our rights were given to us when we're born inherently through God. So I liked going up against the government. That's how conservative I was.
I love that. I'm sorry, dude, before you ask that. Firstly, I fucking love you. I love this. Pardon my mom. Thank you for saying that, because me and her is always, the government will never tell me what I am allowed and what I'm not allowed to do. I had 10 rules that I was given when I was born. 10. Those are the only 10 that matter to me. I forgot where I was going with I just got all tyrannic, but do you ever worry? So all that bad stuff, which I don't even think that's bad. I mean, honestly, but all the stuff that happened with with your law firm and everything like that. Do you ever fear that your competition might bring it up? Do you like is that the game that's being played right now? People running against you might, like Eminem,
dredge up something.
Yeah, they
like Eminem.
I'm sure.
8 Mile, you know what I'm
you're
talking about. Yeah.
Not right now.
Okay.
I think my opponent thinks she's going to coast in this race because I don't think she's ever really had anybody truly run against her.
Understood.
If she feels threatened, I'm sure they'll probably try to dredge something up at some point. I've tried to live the best life that I possibly can, but I'm also human. There may be a mistake I made that who knows what they find, but I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. You're not perfect.
No.
We've all done something that somebody can, find, I guess. But like I mentioned, I didn't want to go to a dry campus. Yeah, I wanted to drink underage, like most people.
Yeah, well, like everybody.
I'm 18, 19, 20, 21. And I'm basically working a 40-hour job as a football player and then going to school too on top of that. At Saturday after a game and I'm underage. I would crack open a few cold ones. Yeah, a few Steve Weisers of Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold. Yeah.
And I would have fun. I'm a regular guy. I had a regular college experience.
Awesome.
And yeah, nobody's perfect. There's only one perfect person. He died for our sins.
Yeah, I was saying he was crucified.
He's crucified.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they would find. I don't know if there's anything to find, but what I'm saying is I'm not perfect.
I was just curious because now through interviewing a lot of people, I'm actually impressed at growing up, or even people nowadays. I think people have wrong ideas of what certain politicians are, what certain people are doing. Russ came on to clear up that there was a commercial that Russ was rich. I'm like, I don't know Russ well, but no, Russ isn't rich. You know, like there's just all these misconceptions. But I got to interview Derek Doby. See, he's a Democrat. Like me and her said, we're in the business of people. I like people. I like Derek Doby's. What I like about him, he got drunk, he hit a cop, he got a DUI after hitting a cop car, and he still became mayor. Like, I know a lot of people don't like that about him. I love that about him, because if you can become mayor after that, you are proof you can do something else. So if anybody has a problem with you drinking beer underage, get over it.
In the words of Don King or John Cougar Mellencamp, ain't that America?
That
only in America, one of the two.
Yep.
That somebody can have that type of incident or incidents occur and still make it.
Yep.
I think that the American people, if we look at our current president, a lot of people don't like him. He's not perfect either, but he's sitting at the in the presidency right now. Nobody's perfect.
Nope.
So you're not going to find a perfect politician either.
Nope.
I have my opinions on things. You have your opinions on things. Nobody's going to agree with me 100% of the time. I'm not going to agree with somebody else 100% of the time. If we do, something's wrong.
Yeah, straight up.
But if you agree with the majority of what somebody's saying, by all means, vote for them. That's how the system's supposed to work anyway.
Well, and for me, it's more the people on the far left and the far right screaming at each other. I've had this conversation with Amador, Russ, and tons of different people. It's not the you, the me, the her, the Russes, the Amadors. That's not what's crazy. It is the people that are screaming like
into the void.
Us versus the problem, not us versus each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even. You can be totally opposite and disagree with somebody and still be cordial and have a conversation that is not
and that
violent.
kind of went out the window 10 years ago. It's unfortunately ever since Trump got involved in politics, and he said a lot of things that people would say under their breath. Back in 2015, 2016, he was saying all those things out loud. He took the gloves off, and I think he changed politics forever.
I agree.
And then, with primary systems, it's unfortunately in some states, especially at the national level, it's like if you're the most extreme in the primary, you get the nomination instead of being more center, moderate, so we end up with extremists as your two choices sometimes. But people still can. I would think they can still come together, whether there's a D next to their name or an R next to their name, and as long as the problem is solvable within whatever power in the purview of the government, they're able to use it and exercise it to come up with a solution. But unfortunately, there's also a lot of politicians that try to expand the power of government where it's not stated within those documents, like the state constitution.
So if you were a lawyer or a politician, what else would your career have been?
That's a really good question, because we were talking earlier, I'm a recovering lawyer, and I've thought about what would I want to do, but I still haven't come up with an idea. I know I took an aptitude test in junior high, and they said I had been a good radio host, but that's a dying platform anymore because of things like this. We were talking. I said I bought a microphone, but I don't think anybody would want to listen to what I had to say. Maybe I should get in podcasting. I don't know. I think if I had my druthers, I would just be a trophy husband and just mow the grass.
Dude, it's funny
be like Forrest Gump, mow that grass for free.
It's funny you say that, because I really didn't think that there was competition to radio. I'm like, the radio will always be the radio. They told us that they would not invite us on to interview us because we're competition. Now, mind you, let me stroke my ego a little bit. Awesome, I'm competition, but I'm like, we're competition, guys. Like, no offense. Now that we're getting bigger, I could see it. But when we messaged them, I'm like, we're competition.
Yeah, you're
get out.
two different platforms.
Yeah, get out of here.
I think like Pandora and Spotify would be more like themselves, like a streaming, a music streaming service.
They would be the competition, not me. Not, you know,
there's
like,
a lot of people, or Sirius XM, like satellite radio would be competition, because like I think I am one of the only people that I know who listens to the actual radio in my car.
Yeah, I don't. I listen to podcasts or YouTube, but I remember listening to talk radio when I worked at the city. I would listen to Neil Bortz in the morning. Okay. He was a independent type.
You guys had Bob and Tom, right?
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, Bob and Tom.
Tom just died, or Bob just died. So it's not even Bob and Tom anymore. Now just Tom.
Well, he left the show.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I think
it hasn't been anyway.
I haven't thought about them since Donnie Baker passed away.
Fair enough,
he was the best. You know?
He was. I like Chick McGee, but you know the songs. It's the songs for me.
Donnie Baker, he's the man. I think about that a lot. He's the man. Yeah. But where were we? Yeah, podcast.
Sorry.
You like I said, I think radio is kind of a dying medium. A lot of people listen to this, like I mentioned, I listen to podcasts or YouTube in the car. I think people kind of got tired of.
Sorry, no, you're good. I got you. You are good. I apologize.
All the good ones are gone. So Neil Bortz was a good one. He was an independent. Rush Limbaugh I thought was excellent. He passed away from cancer. Then you're just stuck with Brian Kilmeade and Sean Hannity, and they say the same stuff over and over. So I can see why people are moving towards an independent podcasts and stuff like that. Well, free form conversation.
And just switching it up, man, because like the radio would never have a Democrat and a Republican on. Like I've seen that. So I've seen a problem, because it's like, where can I get somebody I can talk to you? And like I'd like to think you feel comfortable, feel open, like, and I want that to feel, everybody to feel the same way. So I'm like, the radio can't do that. We can do that though. So that was the goal, man. If you could have dinner, I quickly changed my gears. If you could have dinner with anybody from history,
dead or alive,
who would it be?
And also, what would you eat for dinner? That's my favorite part of the question.
One person.
One person.
And that is very, very tough. I would probably say, and it's going to be a Pat Buchanan.
Okay.
I would say Pat Buchanan. I think he's shaped a lot of my worldview, having read some of his books and trying to read the rest of them. And then dinner would probably just be a ribeye, medium well, glass of bourbon and a cigar for dessert.
Okay, and a cigar for dessert.
What are your sides?
Sides would be a Monte Cristo white label cigar. Side dishes would be probably just some asparagus and a baked potato.
There you go.
Whatever trimmings or fixings you want. Yeah.
Dude, this is really what I love about what we do.
Yes,
no, you're good. You are good. Thank you. This is really what I love about what we do, though, is we're trying to share a narrative that nobody's going to hear. Like, I hope nobody even has an idea of like asking the same question, because I'm sure you'll get other interviews, and so I really hope unique and a one of a kind is what we try to do. So all that being said, what is one thing about Jackson, you coming from the outside, what is one thing that stands out to you? Because I feel like us living here, I feel like we might drive by something that's so unique, but we've seen it our whole life. So like, what's something that really,
stood out to me as a positive? As a positive,
I guess both, really.
As a positive, it was the amount of work that people put into rejuvenating the downtown.
Yes, sir.
Seems like there's a lot of options as far as restaurants and shops. And my initial reaction to Jackson was it kind of reminded me of where I'm from. I could tell that there was a manufacturing base here and that there probably been better times, but after the 2008 real estate bubble, it just kind of looked like Jackson, part of it had been suffering for a while as well. And it just kind of reminded me of my hometown, just a bigger scale.
We, I work out of Ann Arbor and then I live in Jackson. So this is very cool to me. Very, very cool to me because to me, Ann Arbor would quite clearly be the one to market towards because Ann Arbor's Ann Arbor and you're here in Jackson talking to us. So that wasn't a question. Thank you. Thank you. I think that speaks to character and I think that speaks to a lot more. Like really, because if you were somebody that just wanted the majority of people to see you, you would be in Ann Arbor today. Instead, you really care about people, it seems like. So, go ahead. I've seen it.
You did a small stint in family law.
Yeah, when I was a partner in a law firm back home from 2016 to 2019, in the legal practice, it's you only keep what you kill. So if my criminal docket was a little thin that month, I would take on a family case here and there. I could probably count on one hand how many family cases I dealt with. Mainly adoptions.
Okay.
At least I was helping somebody out, whereas it's in all transparency, lawyers have a bad reputation. A lot of people will say, oh yeah, they're just in it for money or they're a snake or something. The worst of the worst are family law attorneys. They are battle axes. They know all the dirty tricks. And I remember one of those 5 cases, I'm reaching a deal with somebody, and unless you go in, put it on the record in front of the magistrate or judge, that deal never happened. As soon as I turn to go walk into the courtroom with my client, I hear footsteps really fast. I turn around, that attorney is pushing his client down the steps and out the door. And I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with professionals like this because it's not professional. So I did a little bit of family, but barely any.
How did that change the way that you view like the importance of family and people in general to like that would aid in your political values running?
Well, I think my view on family just comes from my family itself. Like as I mentioned, I come from a very blended family, not at least when I was growing up, not what you would call typical. I feel like as time goes on, divorces are more common. Maybe my experience now is more of the norm. And then caring of people, it's just understanding everybody has struggles and problems. And we're all just trying to figure it out the best that we can. As I've harped on here, nobody's perfect. We all mess up. I think one thing I realized early on is that an adult is not a real thing. We're all just kind of giant kids and kind of faking it until we make it and making it up as we go.
The feeling of high school was just like a week ago, never goes away.
And like me, like we were talking, I have imposter syndrome a lot. It's like, who would want to listen to me? Like, what do I know? But there are people that want to listen or they think my opinion's valuable. And it's just being able to give yourself and other people grace that is needed. So
what is you being a lawyer and we are about 20-30 minutes left, just so you know. I'm never rushing. I just
it's like flying by.
It does. That's why I do that, because I'm like, because next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I'm about to have to kick him out. No, but being a lawyer, I've asked cops this, and I feel like lawyers would have the same type of answer. What is the one that got away? What's one case that you didn't get to close that you wish you did, or something that they were fucking guilty and then they got away with it, or whatever.
The one regret, and it's another one that I could do a book on. It was my very first jury trial, and this was a prominent case in the area. It was all over the news. It had to deal with counterfeit money that was being distributed through the drug game back in the Dayton area. And I took on the case. I think I charged $17,000, but I only made $500 off of the whole thing.
Dang.
And
was your payment fake? I'm so sorry.
You got to take it to collections, but good luck.
Right,
that's why.
And,
okay.
I thought you were saying they paid you in counterfeit money.
No.
Would have checked that.
Certified. That way it don't bounce. No cash payment. But that was a 4-day trial. My client was charged with Ohio's RICO statute.
Oh, wow.
And I was 2.5 years out of law school. and it involved federal agents, the United States Secret Service. A lot of people don't know.
Wow.
They're not just bodyguards for politicians. They actually are the lead investigators on counterfeit cases.
I didn't know that.
And they deal,
Wow.
they deal with money crimes.
That makes sense.
And my guy didn't have money for an expert witness. I had done a bunch. The thing about being a lawyer is you're a permanent student because your clients come to you with issues that you got to research.
Yep.
And so I taught myself about printers because there was this whole thing about the printer that was being used to print money.
Okay.
And it was 4 days. We were front page news every day. And that came back after several hours with a guilty verdict. I think it should have been not guilty, but that's one that I wish I could get back. And the funny thing is that the guy's wife moved in across the street from my mom, and then he went to prison for 7.5 years, and now he's out. So I see him and talk to him when he's outside, and I'm pulling up to my mom's visiting. That was a fun one. Like that could be a book or a movie.
Yeah.
I remember cross-examining my client's cousin who was caught using counterfeit money.
Yeah.
But he had a wonky eye. So he'd have one eye on me as I'm questioning him and one eye on the jury box. But he was a character because part of it was he went and used counterfeit money at Walmart. And then several days later, he went back and he received some of that counterfeit as change.
No kidding.
And so we were getting to that in a line of questioning, and he happened to turn. So his eye went on the judge. His left eye was still on the jury. And he's like, "Ain't that a son of a bitch, judge? I try to get rid of the money and it comes right back to me." Everybody started laughing. Yeah. And then I'm like, he's got the jury in his pocket.
Yeah,
and they kind of sided with, he's too funny to be guilty.
Gotcha.
But he had a printer in his garage that the cops left. And then he went out and destroyed it. The cops found it destroyed. So that was a fun thing.
Explain that.
Talking about criminology and the cop going through academy. And one of the things that you learn is when you see potential evidence in plain view, you're allowed to seize it. Aren't you, officer? Yes, I am. And you saw potential evidence here and you didn't seize it? No, I did not. So you messed up the investigation, didn't you? Yes, I did.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah.
Dang. See, I just, before you ask this, I really want to reiterate this, and I'm not trying to make anybody look better. I'm never this guy. Katie knows how I am. When I'm smiling over here at you, it's because I'm just enthralled. Like, really, I'm just so, I love stories. I am so dedicated to this. It's why I love what we do. So me saying that, and I don't think the camera can portray this good enough. Like, anybody listening, the one that got away is a case that the guy should have been found not guilty, and you just are like, damn, I wish I could have did better for the guy. It's not a murder charge. It's not nothing crazy like what we get from all these other guests. This is like, you're honest, down to earth. I like you. Like, seriously, I don't think the camera can portray that.
Thank you. Yeah, in awesome. that case, I wish we had money for an expert because I will tell you right now, I think that
it's awesome.
What was her name? It was Tron, Agent Tron for the like the movie.
Yeah, come on,
Agent Tron for this for the feds. I believe to this day that she lied on the witness stand. I had questions involving basically watermarks that printers would make. She denied it. If we would have had an expert, that expert could have testified to it and blew her up.
Gotcha.
But my guy didn't have money. I did the best that I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching his interrogation. It's probably like 8 hours of interrogation on DVD.
Dang.
And I broke it all down and basically acted as my own court reporter so I could see what was said line for line. But because I did it, it's not certified.
Gotcha.
It's like, it helps when you have money. When you hear, oh, the criminal justice system works for rich people, that's partially true. If you have a lot of money, then you can buy resources that could be used in a trial.
It's funny you say, because I've always said that too. It's not the money that actually gets you off. It's just you have to be able to afford certain resources. Right. I mean, that's anywhere. I mean, anybody could, become a lawn care expert if they had the riding lawnmower, all the seeds. Like, it's just, you need the money to get there. I get that.
And people, in my experience, I've had people rag on public defenders, and I was a public defender for a short amount of time. To me, they're awesome because they see every type of case. They don't get to say, well, I don't want this. Let's overcharge him. That way he can't afford it and he's out the door. They have to take on cases as they come. And then also, because they're part of the state technically, they also have resources that they can use for underprivileged people. If somebody's indigent and they need a private investigator, well, the public defender can get you one.
Gotcha.
Whereas if you hire somebody private, I can't personally investigate it I can to an extent, but I can't take statements because we may need to, use their statements against them on the witness stand. We need an investigator.
Gotcha.
To work as a rebuttal witness, and that's where money comes in. Well, public defender has those resources, so and I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. What is campaigning like in a nutshell? Like how do you manage that and everyday life? And
I've been curious.
Well, it's not my first time. I ran for the Ohio General Assembly for the State House when I was 29 years old.
Nice.
I ran in a Republican primary against a 2-time incumbent, and I ran against him because I thought he was a do-nothing politician. His answer to everything was no.
Okay.
And I learned some valuable lessons there. And I come from a very conservative area. Like I was called a baby killer because of my stance on abortion at the time. I was against the Ohio heartbeat bill because at the time Roe v. Wade was still in place. And the guy I was running against had 4 sons instead of 4 daughters. I think it's really easy to say, no abortion. Well, maybe take a second and think about it a little bit more. What if you have 4 daughters?
I agree.
And to me, it's like, well, that's a non-issue here. So I'll step away from that. But I learned lessons there. And then I've just been applying them here. The main thing is messaging. Elections come down to 3 things: money, resources, and messaging.
Gotcha.
And money is very important. So what I'm doing right now is I use some of my own personal funds as like a seed money to get some things, like some of the campaign swag that I gave you today.
Sure.
We're
gonna make a huge post and share it and all that. So I hope you'll reach even more people around you. So.
Yeah, and then I've been, you mentioned Russ Jennings.
Yep.
Russ is the chairperson of the Jackson County Republicans. When something's going on, he'll text me. I show up. I'm fortunate enough that they allow me to speak at a lot of things.
Yep.
So I get my message out that way. I have a website, which is Justin, Justin 47.com that people can visit to look at my platform.
Yep, we'll throw a banner up there.
What I stand for. There's a donate button on there. And if people like what, the message that I have on my website, feel free to donate, even small or big, it doesn't matter. Every dollar goes a long way in a campaign.
you said Justin47.com?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It may be down right now. We just added a store so that there's like a security patch. It may take another 24 hours before it's up and running. Okay. But yeah, if people go to that, they can learn more about me, learn more of what my stances are specifically.
Perfect.
It's going to a lot of things that are well attended by other politicos. Some people in the community will attend.
Yep.
It's mainly right now, because we're 7 months out, it's mainly people that are very politically involved that attend these things.
Yep.
Normies, as they're called, just your normal everyday people that are worried about going to work, raising their kids and paying their bills. To me, I think, if you pay attention, it's more towards the last couple of weeks before an election. Like my wife is she's a normie. She's very apolitical. She probably doesn't even know that we have a war in Iran right now, just because she's so busy with basketball.
Yep. That's a good trait to have. I mean, honestly, that's a good trait.
Yeah. Well, she's focused. But yeah, it's also good that I feel like if people live in politics 24/7, man, you get burned out and like you're stressed out.
It's not good for your mental health either.
Right. You got to take a step back and take a breath every once in a while. But right now it's mainly people that are really, really involved in politics.
We show support to people that support us. And that's kind of a broad way of saying it, because we just show support to people that we like, people that come on the show. So you will see us at your dinner thing because I asked Russ, I said, hey man, can we donate a sponsorship? I want to put my Prisoner2Painter logo on something. Honestly, that's some of it, because I like advertising. But Russ said, dude, you're just so good at talking. just come in and talk and buy 2 tickets. The ticket money goes to him. You don't have to worry about the sponsorship. It's a little more, and that doesn't matter. I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. So we bought 2 tickets. We'll see you there.
Awesome.
And instead of sponsorship, my logo going somewhere, he said that nobody will see it. He said, you could just walk around and talk to people.
Yeah.
I said, I'll do that. I'll walk around and talk to people.
Walk around, talk, and then maybe you'll hear me talk
Yes,
about
sir.
more in depth as what I stand for. I know we don't want to make this political, so I won't get into
No,
details.
actually, towards the end of it, that is, so it's your story, your truth. So part of your story does end up be, regardless of if people that are watching are Democrats, then they'll cut it off right now. But the part of it is you're a Republican and your belief. So we do end with that. Russ's story, he is a politician. I did not realize that Russ was just a politician. Like yes, I know he's done other things. When I talked to him, that's all he cared about was I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking bad. That's great that that's him. So his whole story was politics.
Boom.
That was like the whole story, which is cool, No, but some of our questions were starting to, we tried, I guess what I should say better, and sorry I over mansplain, is we keep our politics out of it. So it's your story, your truth.
Okay.
We just keep our politics
Gotcha.
out of it. Because like we had a hoodoo practicer on, and I'm a Catholic.
Okay.
So it's like, so clearly I'm not going to say like, oh, I agree with voodoo.
Yeah.
I believe in God, but we're still going to give you a place to tell your story.
Right. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
We try to be completely nonpartisan,
Yeah.
regardless of what we believe. People have a right to tell their story, even if it conflicts things that I agree with.
Free speech absolutist. Nice.
Yeah, no matter what. I mean, no matter what. Like, I'll even go as far to say yelling bomb in a crowded building is still free. No, maybe not that far. But so this is one I was excited to ask. Why is the Second Amendment such a personal priority for you?
For me,
Yep.
Again, I kind of touched on this. Natural rights are
Yes,
what
sir.
I believe in. And if people don't know what natural rights are, it means that you believe that your rights come from God. And we naturally have the right to think freely, the right to speak freely, the right to own property, the right to self-defense is one of those natural rights. And that's where the Second Amendment stems from. It is, I have a right to protect myself if I feel like I'm being threatened. If my person is facing great bodily harm or imminent death. And as a conservative, I believe in constitutional adherence.
Okay.
As I previously mentioned, the Bill of Rights, it doesn't give or list rights that are given to us or granted to us by government. What the Bill of Rights is it's a part of the document that says these are rights that government cannot touch. The Second Amendment talks about keeping a well-regulated militia and that the people shall have the right to keep and bear arms and it shall not be infringed. Plain language of that sentence means I have a right to keep and bear. So like I have a gun on my hip right now. I'm keeping a gun. If I need to bear it to use it, I have that right. And to me, any type of law that requires a permit, like a CPL permit, I find those, in my legal opinion, they're unconstitutional. Because there's a difference between a right and a privilege.
Yes.
So like if you've been in trouble for like traffic court, we're talking about, I got pulled over 3 weeks ago for not stopping in one of those Michigan lefts. I rolled right through California roll.
Yeah, we're good at that.
Traffic court, you'll hear a judge say driving is a privilege. It's not a right. Well, if it's a privilege, you have a permit and a license that's issued to you by the state, right? And they can take that away and you lose that privilege. CPL, I have a right. It's different. Why do I need to have a permit? The permit goes with the privilege in my estimation, not with the right. If I have a right to freedom of speech, do I have to go get a permit to talk about a subject that I want? And that's the difference to me.
I slightly disagree because common law, you can't impede my right to travel because that is my right to travel. So,
but then you got to say, what's the definition of travel? That's where the lawyer talk gets involved.
Any means, like horse, cart, walking, riding bike, driving a car.
Well, that's where the lawyer stuff comes in. You got to see what was that the plain language of what that means, or is it what was the intent of the
Last
legislature?
night I asked
That's
him,
where it gets real
funny
fun.
to me too, though, because what's the disagreement? It's like it's not the guns. We agree with the guns.
Yeah.
It's
That's
traveling.
not-
I'm ready to travel. No, last night we had a conversation because I said, "Can you get a DUI on a horse?"
Oh, this sparked a huge conversation.
He's like, "Yes," because I was like, "I seen an Amish person
My
like
uncle got a DUI on a
post about
lawnmower. Okay, so I'm like, a horse, you definitely
It
could,
It
right?
depends on the state.
Yeah.
What I looked up,
Yep.
Ohio was one of the ones. Yes,
Yeah.
because it says vehicle, non-motor, blah blah blah. Michigan,
Yeah.
it says motor vehicle.
Yeah, it depends on the state, and that's the lawyer stuff comes that you got to look at the language of the statute and what the
Okay.
definitions are.
Right on.
It's all wordplay.
Mhm.
But yeah, Ohio, I think it's just operating while in that, so it encompasses everything.
And then it says something along like vehicle, non-vehicle, something or
Yeah,
another.
it's because we got those Amish and Mennonites.
I
down
was just gonna
there.
say that. I think it's because all the Amish people. I
They-
bet you.
When I practiced in Ohio, summertime there would be a big. It's called country concert. Is what it's called. It takes place in Fort Laramie, Ohio, and a lot of Amish would be on Rumspringa, and they would go out there. They'd end up in the drunk tank with like sunburned real bad, and so I would see them, coming in for initial appearances and stuff. And a lot of times the sheriff's deputies that work the courthouses would go work security
Okay.
out there, and they would be like, "Yeah, I picked up Jacob last night, and here he is." Yeah, that's part of it. We got a lot of Amish. So.
Man, so a couple more political questions
Yeah.
about what you're doing, and then all of our wrap-up questions are the same. What is the first bill you would want to co-sponsor if you are elected?
Co-sponsor?
Yep.
I don't know of any right now. I can tell you what I'm passionate about and what I would spearhead personally.
Perfect. Yes, sir.
What I would spearhead initially would be to try to change the criminal justice system. Right now, we have felony sentencing guidelines that I've never really seen in the other states that I've worked in. They've been truth in sentencing type states. These guidelines, it kind of mimics the federal system where
Okay.
you're generating a score based off of a grid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when I was looking at the variables within the grid, it seemed like these are skewed for defendants to get low scores.
Yeah.
So it becomes a catch and release problem.
Mhm.
I remember sitting in a judge's chambers. We were having a Cobb's conference. So defense is trying to work out a sentencing agreement with the judge.
Mhm.
This guy's in his mid 60s. He is charged with manufacturing and delivering fentanyl.
Okay.
And
Big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Mhm.
And he had a consistent criminal record going back to like 1973. This was like his 15th felony.
Yeah.
Where I'm from in Ohio, and what I saw in half a decade in Wisconsin,
Mhm.
this person ought to be locked up for a long time.
Yeah.
Defense counsel asked for probation. Judge asked, "What do I want?" And I'm like, "What do you think I want?" He needs to be locked up.
Yes.
Probably, given his advanced age, probably till his natural life ends.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I can't do that. I'll give him a year in jail." And I'm just like, that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's
Mhm.
back. I'm like, "You're not taking this seriously."
Yeah, I agree.
How many lives is he affected by pushing that stuff? And the ripple effect.
We just witnessed somebody, but they were not selling or manufacturing.
Mhm.
They were being caught with more than a certain amount on them multiple times. I think he said like 96 misdemeanors and
Mhm.
like something, a laundry list of things. The man was old and he wasn't manufacturing, he wasn't distributing, he was just using. And I'm like, he needed treatment court a long time ago.
Yeah, Some people, they're in treatment court for like a fifth time. So it's not.
Katie just had so much of a heart. Honestly,
Mhm.
if you'd have been sitting next to me, the dude should have been locked away for the rest of his life a long time.
I'm crying.
Like, I mean, realistically, he should have been. But
And there's a difference between people that are afflicted with use and then the people that are
That are
poisoning
the
these people.
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
contributing to the use issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what I would want is to get rid of those guidelines because I think they are skewed.
I agree.
And I would just say, hey, you have statutory factors that you have as a judge that you have to openly weigh and consider on the record.
Mhm.
And that way there's a clear record
Mhm.
as to how you came up with the sentence that you came up with.
Mhm.
And there's three factors. The first one would be the character of the defendant. So we would look at the person.
Mhm.
Do they have a high school diploma? Any further education? Do they have dependents? Are they a law? Do they pay taxes?
Yep. Hold a
Are
job.
they contributing
Yeah.
members to society? What's their criminal background like? You know, what have they been in trouble before? What for? What type of punishments did they receive? Do they have familial support? You know, is their family involved with them? And then what I would also look at would be the facts and circumstances surrounding the case. So what happened here? Are there victims? How were the victims impacted? Was it a physical injury, monetary loss, something like that? And then the third factor that the judge would have to consider is deterrence. And deterrence is punishment.
Yeah.
They'd have to look at specific and general and specific. So general deterrence is what kind of punishment can I give this person that sends a message to the community at large. This type of criminal behavior will not be tolerated. And then specific is what kind of penalty or sentence can I fashion that gets that point across to this specific defendant. You need to quit criminal behavior. And then it just makes it so where a judge has to explain themselves. Because what's happening right now is these judges are giving lenient sentences and they're hiding behind these skewed sentencing guidelines. And because of that, people that should be locked up are out roaming the streets still, and we're a lot less safe than what we should be. I'm not saying, hey, you commit a crime, you get the book thrown at you and locked up and we forget about you. I'm saying proportionality. The punishment should fit the crime. And if you're constantly in trouble, it's like the kid in school that's always going to the principal's office. Hey, eventually you got to remove them from the class so everybody else can learn. Hey, eventually you got to remove this person from society so we can all kind of go about our business and they can get help, because there's help within the institutions as well. So I would spearhead that. And then I would like to see mandatory prison sentences for specific felonies like manufacturing and delivering controlled substances.
I like how you worked into this. Really, wow, that's awesome. No, I agree with that. People that are actively trying to harm other people, and I very much so that you like that you said that, because I feel like a lot of people get in their head when it comes to prison reform. I didn't hear nothing about the guy that has a problem. I've only heard stuff about the guy who's giving people problems. Like I think, you know,
and you know, like I said, politics is all wordplay. So you hear things a bit like restorative justice, criminal justice reform. The things that have happened have made things worse. And it may be just, you know, unintentional consequences. It could be intentional. I don't know. But if you place discernment within a judge, most of the time they're going to come up with the right answer if they're of upstanding character and not politically motivated. If you let politics bleed into the judicial system, it's no longer serving its function. It's supposed to be wholly independent. You're supposed to look at the law and determine punishment. You know, things like cashless bond, that goes on. You know, there's personal recognizance, or, you know, PR bonds, as they call them. Those are typically reserved for misdemeanors or for people that are not flight risks. There's still factors that judges consider. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with cash bond. And I think those are, when they're imposed, it's necessary, given the gravity of an offense or somebody's criminal history. So those things I don't think need fixed. I just think we need more strict punishment if we're actually going to deal with the problems. And believe me, 9.5 years as a criminal defense attorney, I've seen it all. I've represented family members that have been afflicted with drug addiction. If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me rehab or probation won't work, I would be retired right now. And I'm not saying, hey, give them probation one time or two times. I'm saying don't give it to them a fourth, fifth, and sixth time.
No, I get you.
Eventually, you got to face the music at some point.
Well, and one thing you said that I really, some people don't read any deeper. So I really hope people that are watching this or do end up watching this listen to more than what's face value. So a judge have to, well, you know, be responsible for what his decision is. So that means that the black guy that goes in front of the judge and the white guy that goes in front of the judge now has equal treatment as well, because now he has to actually
also jury of your peers actually being your peers.
Well, well, there's more to it. If a judge is responsible for, you know, he has to actually, you know, why I'm doing this now. That could actually save America in the future.
Instead of just going, well, we scored 25 to 48 on this, so we're going to give them that. No, explain yourself. How did you get here? Because judges, when they run for, because it's an elected office. You know, and when election time comes around, I'm sure their motto is, I'm tough on crime. Reality is you're not, and you're hiding behind these tools, either actively as an activist judge, or you just don't want to do your job and you're afraid of being overturned on appeal.
Well, some of the deterrents, I should have went to prison, and I'll say that to anybody who listens. I should have went to prison, and I didn't. Now I found my way. I ended up finding my way. I had a lot of repercussions, anyways. But I should have went to prison. Maybe that wouldn't have worked for me. I don't know, but I see the leniency right in front of me. And we were at court. Okay, now mind you, her dad had kind of a little bit of it coming, but he got 6 months in jail. Actually, he got a really good deal, but I'm happy he did. He's changing his life around. Right before him, a fucking child molester gets let out on probation, and I was like, what? Well, look, being hard on crime, I think people forget that there actually are crimes that we should be hard on.
Right.
Murder, rape, child molestation, thieving.
Right.
There's crimes that
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
Go to prison. Fuck.
But prison
Sorry.
also, in some cases, should not be timeout. It should be rehabilitation
avoid
to avoid recidivism. So it's actually rehabilitating the people in the instances where it's not just punishment, lock away.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is the character of the defendant.
Yeah,
that has to be considered. And maybe you could say, yeah, I can tell that this person's only going to get worse if they're locked up. And yeah, and you can give them probation with certain conditions and things. But you also got to have a probation department that makes sure that they're following through on those conditions.
Or lock them up and then make the lockup actually rehabilitated. They're doing the probation in a like a rehab center. They legally are.
That's a United States though problem. That's not a Michigan 47 district. Sorry,
I know. I'm sorry.
That's a big concern.
I'm not saying rehabilitation doesn't work, but majority of cases it doesn't.
Depending on
the individual.
What the crime is, the individual.
That's why you got to weigh those things.
Data, lots of data.
Now it's more cookie cutter, where it's what they get, and you're not even considering what they did or who they are, what may be effective. You're just saying put them in probation. They're making it more uniform and cookie cutter when it needs to be more individualized, and you should take time to kind of consider these different factors to fashion
to climb a tree.
To fashion a specific sentence for that specific defendant.
No, I agree 100%, man. Because you can't get.
Believe me, I've represented all walks of life, and I've never seen anything as lenient as it is here. I could not believe it.
I agree. I do.
It's like when I was at the prosecutor's, I literally told my wife one day, I was like, I don't know why I'm doing this job. Like, there's no point to it. Like, if they're going to walk anyway. Well, you mentioned thefts, like retail thefts. That's usually tied to addiction. But there's rebuttable presumptions within Michigan law, and it'll be somebody's. There's one day a person had 15 open retail theft cases, and the judge sentenced them to, I think, 1 day in jail, 1 day served, convicted them of all of them. And it's like, well, he's going to be in here next week, the 16th.
Well, and that's what I was just about to say. Like probation, yes, give them a chance for rehabilitation. I agree completely. But do you know why they keep coming in and failing? It's because they don't need that. They actually need something else. But dude, awesome. So I'll ask one more political question, and then we'll ask our wrap-up questions. So what is your plan to help small businesses in Michigan recover or grow in the current economy? This sits even weirder now with the gas prices and everything. But do you have any plan to help local businesses?
Yeah, we just need to make Michigan an attractive state when it comes to individual taxes, so we can recruit and keep talent here. And then also if we, maybe reduce or not increase corporate taxes on corporations. Running a business is very tough.
Yes, it is.
My dad has owned 2 small businesses. I was a partner in a law firm. I was technically a small business owner. It's not as easy as people think. Like you generate revenue, you're paying payroll taxes. There's a lot of things that come with it. But we need to cut down on regulations. And if there's any new regulations, there needs to be expiration dates on them. We can create a more vibrant economic environment through deregulation and decreasing or reducing taxes on business entities and individuals alike. When you look at the state budget, here's my thing about government. Government doesn't create anything. Government typically has a spending problem. We have a smaller state than the state of Florida,
Mhm.
but our budget is higher than the state of Florida's budget. Like, how do we have a smaller state but need more money?
Yeah.
Republicans last year found 2,400 ghost jobs that were being funded that nobody was actually
Okay.
doing.
Gotcha.
So there's money there that we can already use. We don't need to increase the budget. And we can alleviate taxes. I think we can, it's a spending problem, not a tax issue. I don't think we need all the money that we're bringing in. And that's how we create a more business-friendly environment through the tax structure. And then also probably to incentivize business growth or expansion of small business, creating a one-stop shop for people to, I guess, get in touch with like a government bureaucracy that can point them in the right direction as far as documentation that's involved.
Is there any talk about us being like Florida with no
Palm trees.
No, well, yeah, no, that with no property tax? Is that even potentially ever going to be a thing? That's me being.
When I've been to a few things where people have brought that up. There was a woman that was running for governor that I think she was real big on Axe My Tax.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything from other state house candidates. I get why people want to do that. I think I would be for that, just from a principle standpoint. You know, if I buy a house, why do I got to pay taxes? If once I pay off that mortgage, why do I got to continuously pay taxes on it? And if I don't pay the taxes, you're going to come take my property?
Because the goal is to leave this for somebody, my kid, and he never have to pay. Because like once I'm dead, hopefully it's paid off. The taxes are like, non-existent, hopefully. And then it's just free and clear. Well, what's just the idea behind it? But
local governments are funded by it. And so, like Russ being here, he'd tell you we need to find an alternative because I think he's a township trustee.
Yeah, exactly.
So people may have to take a look at, hey, how do we still fund these things? If we get rid of a property tax, do we shift additional tax or increase things like sales tax to make up for that loss in property
or we could
tax?
do a fat tax, and everything that's unhealthy is tax the bad stuff and make the good stuff.
I mean, however we get there, just get there.
Yeah.
Dude, so our wrap-up questions are all the same. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I do want to say in the future, I do work in Ann Arbor, so maybe we could get together again in the future. I really enjoyed this. Yes, I enjoyed this. So my wrap-up questions are all the same for every single guest. Is there anything I missed that I didn't ask? Is there anything you wanted to share? Anything you wanted to come on and talk about?
Not that I can think of. I do want to thank you two for inviting me and having me on today. I've really enjoyed the conversation. As far as questions that you haven't asked, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of been all over the board today.
No, that means I did my
it's been
job
natural
right.
flowing too.
Yes,
so.
sir. Yes, sir. No, this is great. Like seriously, I never know what we're gonna get into ever, but pleasantly surprised. Because normally when I'm surprised, it's not pleasantly. You know what I mean? So,
am I nicer than I look? I guess that'd be the question.
That is it. That is it. I was like, oh man. I mean, she made that joke stone cold, but you do like
I said, oh no,
hard ass.
Yeah,
just a little
it's just the bald head and I guess the round shoulders. I've had clients. I remember when I worked at my first law firm, I had to go hunt down a client, and whoever was at the door wouldn't answer it because they thought I was FBI. And I'm like, I look intimidating to some people, but I'm really a big softie. So.
Well, and then also
I was expecting the what?
Yeah. Well, also we're trying
and that's
to be
the bottom line.
we're trying to be like more, we're trying to be professional. So also we're having a yard. We give back to the community a lot. So maybe next time we do something, we invite you anyway. But we give back a lot. So part of it was like our yard's full. There's people. It was just a nervous thing. But my only other wrap-up question is, what is your definition of success?
Definition of success is achieving a goal that you set out to accomplish.
Right.
I'm big on setting goals and then trying to reach those goals. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's how I would define success.
Cool.
If you had one word to describe your entire journey from where you started to where you will end up, what is that word? Has to be a real word. Can't be hyphenated.
From where I started to where I end up, unorthodox.
Okay.
My story's been kind of all over the place. And then I mentioned my wife is in college athletics. That's also, if a job pops up that she wants and she gets, we got to hit the road. So, that's the one bad thing, but it can be kind of hectic with her career as well.
Gotcha.
If younger you and older you met, would you get along with you then, and vice versa? Would he get along with you now? And I ask it that way, so it's like the version of you younger comes up is the one.
Yeah, I don't think we've changed that. I haven't changed that much, so I would hope younger me would like older me.
Awesome.
And like I said, when I was younger, I wanted to be bald. I accomplished that goal by accident. And I wanted to have a goatee. So here I am as Stone Cold or Bill Goldberg. So I accomplished that goal.
Yeah. Dude, that's so cool. I'm just enthralled because wrestling. For some reason, I thought it was just such a corner thing. That's cool.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah. Katie, do you got your last wrap-up question?
What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy to me is just, I guess, what you leave behind when you're gone, how the impact that you make on people in their lives, and hopefully it's a positive legacy.
Yeah.
Legacy would be how you're remembered by others.
Okay.
Did you ask her one word?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Unorthodox.
Unorthodox. You did ask that. So 2 gifts. We used to give out gifts to every single guest. No matter what, we gave out a gift. We were toting the bill. My wallet does not approve anymore. But now we give to guests gifts to more higher ups, I'll say. Not higher ups, but people do it. Their stories are a little more out there. This just happens. It's an older lady. She passed, but she does extremely good artwork. She's Jackson native. She just does a lot of just wild art. I thought that would just be cool to give you. This
Thank
one,
you.
though, I gave it to you. We thought you'd like it preemptively, win or lose. Nice try. So I hope you win, but there you go.
Thank you.
There you go. I thought that would be I thought that was a unique thing.
Lastly,
Looks like if I ever tried to play pickleball, that's the position I'd end up in.
it's open because the lid was flying.
And then Katie will cut the camera. Will you sign our table?
Yes.
All right, thanks for
Awesome.
watching, guys.